Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-2. It is entitled Geared Up. So as you can see, you start out in a storeroom here with a plethora of weapons to choose. It looks like I'm going to stick to the Retro Lancer and the Lancer just for the time being. I'm going to impale this guy. And this is where the game really starts to take on an aspect that I really enjoy. The first act is not my favorite act, and I think things do get progressively more engaging and more fun as you, well, at about the time you get to Marcus and he's on your squad. Although you lose him for a big majority of the game. There was a cutscene that I edited out in which the Kestrel appears, and you're going to be shooting its engines, and it can kill you quite easily. So you need to be really careful. And I'm choosing the Retro Lancer so that I can deal more damage to it, and hopefully get even more damage with the perfect active reload. It does this machine gun fire at you early on, but it does alternate to the rockets, and you'll see the signpost for that when it occurs. And if you miss it for some reason, I'll point it out if it's on the screen clearly enough. But there are lackeys on this, and that's why I did set down a couple of frag grenades for them. It's difficult to always judge where they're going to land. But there's a couple that do land in that room that I was just in a moment ago, planting grenades. And I'm going to pick up a long shot now, and it looks like you get 8 rounds for it. Sometimes you get a set amount for weapons. Usually in a storeroom like this, it's always the same. But weapons that you come across in the game, such as, just for instance, weapons that are hanging to the ceiling in webbing. Sometimes you'll get a different amount, and sometimes it's a pretty drastic amount. I think I mentioned it earlier in the walkthrough, but on Origins, there's a pickup for a long shot. It's hidden in webbing that's hanging from the ceiling, and sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 6, sometimes you might get other amounts, but giving the player 3 fucking rounds for the long shot is absolutely ridiculous. And it looks like at this point, when you get the Y prompt, you're going to be noticing her lower panel. I don't know what you would call that. Her ramp lowering, and that's the signpost for the rockets. So the machine gun fire doesn't damage you, quite as quickly as the rockets do. And when I say that, I mean you really need to be careful, because those rockets. Watch how the hatch underneath her midsection will lower, and then that's your cue to roll to the left. There you go. See how the hatch lowered and those turrets came out to fire the rockets? This is a fairly safe spot. You can aim around the cover like this, and your teammates sometimes will say, rockets incoming. I don't think they always say it, though, so you just need to look for that signpost and just don't tempt it at all, because it could spell your death very quickly. And you have to do this all on the same checkpoint. And at this point, she moves to the location she was at in the first phase, although in this phase, in addition to firing the machine guns, she'll alternate with rockets too. So usually all my deaths occurred to the rockets. Anything that instantly kills you is always something that people are going to struggle on. And this chapter isn't that bad, but it has, I would say, one, maybe 2 demanding fights. The demanding fight that I'm thinking of is the one that occurs, it's actually the last fight, with a bunch of shepherds, a guardian, and I've got to say about probably 6 Deadeyes, the ones with the M-bar. There's the cutscene. Well, you didn't see the cutscene, but there's the edits for the cutscene right now. And I'm going to come back here and I'm gonna switch out one of my weapons. And no, I'm not. I guess I was just picking up ammunition over there. But you have a surprise over here with a heavy, and you've also got some standard trackers that are going to be rolling in. There's two. You can tell they're standard ones because they've got that dark color to them. The other variant of the tracker is a lighter colored variant, silvery, like a bluish slash silvery color to it. That those ones drop shock grenades. The ones that we just killed, even though they didn't do it, they can drop frag grenades. So you get a nice checkpoint right here too, but it's difficult to ascertain where enemies are in this room that's filled with fire. So one way you can figure out where enemies are is to spot them. And it would be nice if there was some sort of environmental, like a propane tank down here that you could just finish off the room and have it fully blow up, so you don't have to deal with these enemies. I have been rushed by those enemies from time to time too. So fall back if you need to. But I don't mind getting killed by a Deadeye at all, and I mean, I mind it, but you have to realize we're playing on the hardest difficulty. In most people's opinion, I posted a poll in my community, and the majority of folks did agree with me that Insane is harder than Inconceivable. Inconceivable is harder in one or two other places than those similar places on this campaign on Insane. But when enemies have less HP, it just tells me that it's just easier. And since I've gone through both, I can speak for it. But the Condor fight is definitely not easier on that difficulty. And that also isn't to say that Inconceivable isn't hard, because it definitely is very difficult. But Insane, because of the fact that enemies have more health, you've got to do more, is the thing there. So I plant a flame on one of the shepherds over here. This is another area that can be demanding. I would recommend not rushing forward. If you want, there's a barn over to the right that you can run through safely before the enemies spawn. And then around a corner, there's some foliage, and there's also a tree that you can hide behind. But I had a much harder time surviving on that section because I was getting rushed more over there. But there should be several guys with M-bars, and you've always got to prioritize those guys. You just have to. Yeah, here's one of them right here. They also have a melee attack, like all the enemies as well. So I really love the mobility in this game. The running vault. I wish they could insert that in all the Gears of Wars, because it was such a natural and clever thing to implement. But once all the enemy, this is the area that I was talking about. If you want to run up here first off, you can. But did I get a full spawn over here? Yeah. Okay. So before you leave, do we have a heavy over here? Yeah. Okay. So there's a guardian up there, the one with the shield, and then there's a heavy. The heavy usually, well, in my opinion, he always walks towards your teammates, and I've always had it so that they kill him, and your only real responsibility is to destroy the guardian, and that actually speaks a lot, and speaks highly for your teammates if they can fend off and kill a heavy for you. Because they're generally useless wastes of human beings that get in your way, steal your cover, compromise your SWAT turns and the like. But after this, if you want to, you can bring the tri-shot that this enemy drops into the next fight, and it can help kill a couple of the heavies on the next area. Just remember that your mobility will be sacrificed when you use it. Yeah, I'm always surprised that that heavy gets dealt with in that way. The greenhouse fight is, I believe it's a two-way fight. There's no checkpoint. But even if there wasn't a checkpoint, the loading times on this game they're such that they don't even feel like it's loading because it does it so rapidly. I really appreciate that. It's kind of a double-edged sword though, because when you're editing the videos, it's so difficult when you're scrubbing through the footage. And I know this is just for editing, editing savants and people that know about video editing. But when you're scrubbing through the footage, it's very difficult to edit out deaths when there's very little variation in the noise wavelengths. And I'm always missing those and having to re-edit from that. But yeah, I would save the tri-shot for the DR1s that come once you kill these main shepherds. And they should be coming pretty quickly. There's a pair of grenades on each side of this greenhouse, so if you do want to use the grenades, feel free to do so. But I really would, because this can get really hairy with those DR1s, especially them needing to take so much damage and them closing in on you so fast. The footage that I have here, it was me barely surviving, just absolutely barely surviving, because I think I killed one okay, but of course there's two of them, and my teammates weren't able to do much of anything, like usual, and I ran into some problems where I had to sprint to the other side of the room, the while wishing that I wouldn't get shot at. See, I was trying to vault. You see that? I was trying to mantle over the cover, and fucking K was right in the damn way. Here are the heavies. They actually spawn right in the middle of the room, so you got to get on these guys fast. But fortunately, this weapon kills them fast. But it comes at a pretty big risk. They can too mantle over cover with the jets on their feet, so you need to be careful of that. And I'm getting real close to getting killed over here, because as you may have noticed, I had a heavy on one side of the room, and then there was a shepherd that snuck up on me. So I think he just did it. You see him vault over the cover with his jets. Yeah, this is a pretty tricky room. So anyway, here are the frag grenades. There's a pair there, and then there's a pair on the other side. I think I already have 4 though, but I'll just show you where they are anyway. They're right there. I don't get good luck with frag grenades in Gears of War games. That's why I really prefer the flames, but the flame grenades in this game are definitely not as good as they were in the 3rd game. The shock grenades are fantastic, though. Those are really nice. And then we have a fight coming up that you can pretty much trivialize by staying on the left side of the room. Let's see what we have here. So we're gonna. I think it might be a Guardian. Yeah, is it a Guardian? Is it maybe more than one Guardian? But what is on the left side of the room? Is it a long shot? No. 2 Guardians. 2 Guardians and a host of Shepherds. So, in a moment, I'll show you where there's a really good spot to stand. I'm not sure why I'm not going there immediately. Maybe because that shepherd that was over to the left of the room had a line on me. I didn't want to risk it. But the loading times are so fantastic in this game. And I know I've bashed this game so many fucking times, calling it Queers of War 4, things like that. And when I say things like that, you have to realize that I am being hyperbolic, I am being silly, and I am being disrespectful. But the thing of it is, it's just the fact that I don't like the characters, the mechanics, the gameplay. While it's not the most fun that it's ever been, the third game was the antithesis of greatness and fun and variation and clever level design and gameplay and things like that. And this game, it just feels like it really didn't need to exist in the first place. And then with the fifth game, they just turned the whole fucking thing upside down to where it's, it didn't get turned to the point where, like, the new God of War is a whole new thing, like a totally different new thing. It's definitely not. They didn't go that far, but they went far enough just to irk me a lot. Having weapon upgrades and things like that. I just don't want that in Gears. I like this. I like better characters too that aren't so annoying as well. And it just feels, when characters get old in games, like they have to, bring in Marcus and they have to drag all these guys back, and everybody's got gray beards now, and they barely want to be there. It seems, at least story wise, it's just like, why are we here? I know it's for money. I know that but it's just, this fight over here. I'm gonna ignore the M-bar, and I'm also gonna run past this long shot. This is the demanding fight I was talking about. Now, why did I not pick up that long shot right there? Well, I'm going to in just a moment. But sometimes weapons that are just sitting around or hanging around from ceilings, they give you different amounts. So what I didn't want to do was pick up that long shot and maybe get like 3 rounds for it and then checkpoint myself having that 3 rounds. Whereas I could run up to here and then run back and manipulate it every time and see what I get and make sure I get the most. But you always get 8 rounds for that. So that's atypical. Now here, what I do is I get out of the fucking way, man. It's going to happen all the time. All the time. But what I do is, when I run up to the checkpoint area, I kill 1, at most 2 guys, and then I run back here, grab the long shot, and then I focus on killing the dead eyes, the ones with the M bars that have that yellow light. You have to focus on them, because if you're trying to kill the Guardian with 1, or I think there's about 3 of them at this point. Here's one of them. There's really no chance of you killing the Guardian without instantly getting your head blown off. And then surprisingly, the Guardian's rockets never killed me. Never killed me. It was always the dead eyes. Out of the way, you motherfucker. This game seems to like revel in putting people in front of you. It's just more so than the other games. I don't remember 5 so much, but I never remember teammates getting in my way so much in 1 through 3 in Judgment. But yes, if you want to survive this, just wait on the Guardian and take care of the guys with the M bars. They have to go, and then you can focus on the Guardian safely. Even if here's another one. Don't tempt those guys. And I like this fight. I do. I think it's challenging, and I like. Well, no one likes getting instantly killed. But it is nice to have such a short loading time of like a second. But once the M-bar guys are gone, even if there are shepherds kicking around, don't worry about them so much because they're in the distance. They're not going to deal too much damage to you. Just focus on killing the Guardian. You can grab his tri-shot if you want to, but that's going to compromise your movement, and you're going to be dealing with another wave. And that other wave might be enemies that have already spawned that are really far back that I can't see yet. But that other wave consists of, I think, one Shepherd and two more Deadeyes. But, oh, that was a scary moment. Do you see that? Fortunately, my father, my papa, my pop helped me out. So there is another long shot coming up as well. So I'm going to re-pick up my Retro Lancer. I can't get over the running vault. It's such fun. It really is. But we've got a couple of shepherds charging at us right here, and just make sure before you push up that there's nobody going to sideline you over to the right. So get behind cover here, and there has been many a time that I have made it up here only to get shot by another one of those Deadeyes. So definitely pick up the long shot. Looks like you get 10, so they're pretty good about giving you good ammo over here. But there's that one. Is that a Deadeye or a Shepherd? I'm not sure, but I know that there are two more Deadeyes in a Rotunda. Oh, that is a Deadeye. So it could be actually, this final bunch could be 3 Deadeyes. I know the last 2 Deadeyes dig in this Rotunda area. Do you see where those 2 yellow lights are? To the top left of the screen. There's kind of like some fencing around it. There's 2 guys in there. That's where they dig in, right in there. And I think that is a Rotunda because it has a ceiling to it. Yeah. Two guys that can, either one of them can kill you fast. And my deaths usually occurred because I didn't know where they were. I could have been more patient, much more patient. There is going to be an edit up here in which I dropped my long shot because I wanted to pick back up my Retro Lancer. The edit occurred right there, by the way. So I now have the custom Lancer and the Retro Lancer because I know I'm going to be fighting the Kestrel in the next fight, and I don't particularly think the long shot will help too much in that regard. But that is it for Act 2-2. Fairly challenging chapter, actually. I'm sorry, an act. All you need to do is just approach the fence, kick it down, and then we'll see each other in Act 2-3. I hope that until we see each other again, that you continue to take care. Goodbye, and please do remember to take care.